It takes the average person just 5 seconds to read a text. You know what else you can do in 5 seconds? Drive a car 55 miles per hour and travel the length of a football field. Now imagine driving that distance while looking at your phone. It's the equivalent of being blindfolded. Hi there, I'm Amanda Mushro with autoinsurance.com. Listen, we're all guilty of driving while distracted at some point. But while we may think that chatting on our phones or changing the music on the radio is no big deal, it can actually be really dangerous. In 2020, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reported that over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes that involved distracted drivers. In today's video, we'll cover what distracted driving is, how you can avoid it, which drivers are the most likely to drive distracted, and what distracted driving means for your car insurance rates. So let's get to it. Distracted driving is any action that takes your attention away from the road and turns your focus onto something else. The CDC breaks down distracted driving into 3 categories. The first being visual, so anything that takes your eyes off the road. The second is manual, that's when you take your hands off the wheel. And finally, there's cognitive, when your mind begins to wander and you aren't focused on driving. Now let's talk about what contributes to distracted driving. There's a good chance you're holding it in your hand right now, your cell phone. We all love our phones, but they're the biggest cause of distracted driving. The NHTSA reports that at any moment in the day, 660,000 drivers are using their cell phones while operating vehicles. Because drivers aren't willing to put their phones down, 48 states have passed laws banning texting and driving. And 24 states have gone even further and completely banned handheld cell phone use while driving. So depending where you live, you can expect a hefty fine or a license suspension if you're pulled over and ticketed. Our phones, they're not the only thing that's distracting us. Blasting the radio and belting out your favorite tunes or reaching down to grab something that you dropped, that can take your focus off the road. If you have kids in the car and they're being, well, kids, well, that's a distraction. And if you're running late and you're touching up your makeup in the rearview mirror, or you're hungry and you're having a quick snack, you're not 100% focused on the driving. Let's stay focused. How do we avoid distractions? Well, first, silence your phone and put it away so you aren't tempted to look at it, make a call, or scroll social media. There's also built-in features on iOS. To access driving focus on your iPhone, just go to Settings, select Focus, and then tap Driving. Follow the instructions to silence or limit your calls, texts, and notifications. Android users can enable Do Not Disturb mode by opening the Settings app, scrolling down and tapping Sound and Vibrations, Do Not Disturb, and Turn On Now button at the top of your screen. Even if you think you're really good at multitasking when you're in the car, just don't do it. Check off the items on your to-do list once you arrive at your destination. Save the snacks and the drinks for after the drive. Added bonus, your car will be cleaner. And set your music before you leave so that you're not tempted to change it up while you're driving. None of us are perfect drivers, but if you had to guess which group of drivers are the most distracted, who would you say? If you guessed teens, you'd be right. In 2020, of all the crashes in the US that involved distracted driving, the CDC found that teens were more involved than any other age group. A lot of it comes down to teens being inexperienced drivers. And if you have a teen like I do, you know that their cell phones are basically attached to them 24/7. Ready for a scary stat? According to the CDC, 60% of teens 18 and older admit to emailing or texting while driving. And teens who text while they're driving spend an average of 10% of their driving time outside of the traffic lanes. So how can we help our teens stay safe behind the wheel? First, you have to set ground rules for driving. You'll want to cover cell phone usage, but don't forget other distractions like the number of passengers in the car. Second, make sure your teen knows the dangers of distracted driving and the consequences if they break those rules. And finally, when it's your turn to drive, model good behavior. No phones, hands on the wheels, and attention on the road. Something that will grab your attention: distracted driving can cost you a lot of money. If you cause an accident because you're the distracted driver, you can expect your auto insurance rates to increase. There's a lot of factors that go into the amount of the increase, but the national average is about a 43% increase. If you get a ticket for texting or another form of distracted driving, the average rate of the increase is 23%. No one wants to pay that much for reading a text. And there you have it, distracted driving. Distractions, they're everywhere. Learning to avoid them could save your life. The next time you get into the car, I hope you think of this video and put your phones away. Also, if you found this video useful, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single video. And for more information on all things auto insurance, including finding your perfect policy, be sure to visit us at autoinsurance.com. See you next time.